Go out. Okay, now it does that bit now where this meeting's being recorded. Anyways, I think we went through this Torah together not too long ago. It might be on YouTube actually, but it's important to do Chazara, and we didn't go through the whole Torah. I could tell you that. But anyways, Rabbi Nachman talks about starting again. And this is exactly what we were talking about last night. When you reach a certain level or you're on a level and you feel like you're descending, you feel like things aren't fiery around you. So we'll see what Rabbi Nachman has to say when we're in that situation. Chas v'shalom. When a person falls from his level, he should know that this is sent from heaven, from the highest places of heaven. The purpose of the apparent rejection is to draw closer to God. The whole point, the whole idea of someone falling is to only get closer to Hashem. This is Gavalka. I'm having a chavruta with Hashem. This is amazing. The reason for the fall is to spur the person to make even greater efforts to draw closer to God. Right? The screens may be off on Zoom, but this is our time to get closer to Hashem, to turn those screens on like John and Tamar just did. The thing to do is to make an entirely new start. Start serving God as if you had never started in your whole life. Right? So the screens were just off. John and Tamar made the decision, just because my screen is off now, it doesn't mean it should be off the entire meeting, the entire chabura. So they decided to turn on the screen. Same too with our avoda, with serving Hashem. Just because you're in the mud, just because you're in the trenches, it shouldn't mean you should just stay there. Starting again is a crazy Indian. This is one of the most basic principles of serving God. We must literally begin all over again every day. Moshe Schiff, Samson Schiff, iPhone 1, all the iPhones in the world. We all know he's the master of his Torah. We all know Rabbi Nachman started 1 million times a day. We can start every second of the day. And I think that's the whole point of this Torah over here. Oh, we lost a holy friend. Right? That's the whole idea behind this Torah. No matter what you're doing throughout the day, no matter what place you're at, what level you're on, just having that realization, that awareness, that I have the ability to shove away whatever I'm doing and to just start. But Rabbi Nachman is saying, which this is a crazy line, and we can't neglect it. We can't overlook it. Start serving Hashem like you never did before. Start serving Hashem like you're a newborn, like you're a baby. Not only should you start again, you should start again by knowing that you don't know. Oh my gosh, Chevra. And so much is ingrained in this Torah as well. Just by starting again, just by starting fresh, you're putting in effort. And if that doesn't work out, if calling a friend for a chavruta for some words of chizik doesn't work out, the friend doesn't pick up, or the friend talks about something else, or you open a sefer by yourself, you're expecting one thing, but you get nothing. Or you're starting to work out, but you see you have no results. Starting over again is just putting in effort. That's where you're going to see the growth. The yearning, the desire to get closer. So real. And we're able to see it, mamish. Multiple times a day. Hundreds of times a day. How much do I want to get closer to Hashem? You're able to see it right in front of you. Gevalt, Yimir Hashem, guys. Hi. Anyone have anything to say? Questions, comments?
Yes, I would love to say something before Moshe. Uh, so I
Go,
can
go,
just
go, go,
be,
go.
just be an introduction, to the holy man who will succeed me. I brought this up. I think I brought this up in the past about the difference between Rav Kook's Yuan Shuva and Rav Soloveitchik's, and I think Rav Soloveitchik is more, that you anew yourself. You sort of, you change your name. There are things that you just basically like create a new self. And Rav Kook's is that you like renew yourself. You sort of come back to what you originally were, discarding all, this like all the sins and mistakes is sort of something that's not you. You sort of come back to your um, initial self. And I think that, the point you made, it goes beyond like Tshuva is a nice model, but you can take that and sort of expand that to every part of your life. Where, last week, yesterday, not even last week, yesterday, I mentioned, Shabbat as reflection and looking back to also, looking back at the previous week to capitalize and maximize for the next week. And I think this is, what you just said is so powerful that you sort of just, you're able to, look at yourself and say, okay, how do I grow? How do I build on myself? And by reflecting, by renewing yourself or undoing yourself, whichever way which again, I think they're more or less the same, but there are little discrepancies. But whichever way you prefer, you're able to, maximize and develop and advance your love for Torah, your relationship with Hashem, and your life as as a whole. So I think it's a great message just to always think about that. Always, before you do something, sort of just think about, okay, how am I going to go about this? How much fun can I have to maximize to the best of my abilities?
Chazak, Chazak, John. You always deliver fire. And you even quoted yourself from last night. That's even better. Anyone else have anything to share, please feel free to unmute yourself. The gates are open. They're always open. They're always wide, wide open.
Nothing I could say. I have nothing to add. Jack, you said it
That's
perfectly.
beautiful.
Said it perfectly. Nachman would say to renew yourself 1,000 times a day, and it's not stam. That sounds like crazy talk, right? Yeah, it's a nice idea. 1,000 times a day. What are you talking about? Okay, I did a mistake. I can renew myself. I can say, okay, I'll start again. But 1,000 times, I'm making 1,000 mistakes in one day. We have to understand what it means. That Rabbi Nachman would say he would renew himself 1,000 times in a day. It wasn't stam exaggeration. Rabbi Nachman didn't say things stam. No. Nachman would renew himself 1,000 times in a day. Think about how many words and letters we say every single day. Now, I personally can only speak for myself. Not every word I say, every letter I speak is coming from the deepest, most like high place, has the deepest kavanot, or has the right intentions. And when it doesn't, we need to just renew. You know how many times we can look at the words that we say and just renew ourselves and say, wow, I didn't even think about what I said then. I have to say something better. Say something else. Start again. Well, I did it again. I said another word that I didn't like to say. Whether it be a word that, even if it doesn't have a bad connotation, I could have said something else. I could have said something different. Nachman would renew himself 1,000 times in a day. The power of chidush, the power of renewal, not only in terms of our actions, but also in terms of our thoughts, can bring us to new realities that we never even dreamed of. We should be zocha to be able to renew ourselves 1,000 times a day, not exaggerating, actually 1,000 times.
Amen. Amen. It's a lot to take in. Very, very heavy stuff. Bizrat Hashem. Anyone else have anything to say? Daniela, please feel free to unmute yourselves. Chevra, Baruch Hashem, we're on fire. Baruch Hashem, we're all miduraz. Just whipped out the Hebrew word. Oh my God, all you guys love it. Baruch Hashem. I see the smiles behind the black screens. Gewalt. But Moshe is on. Bezrat Hashem, guys, we should just be healthy, happy, and successful. Whether you're at a shiur from an Oraita Rebbe right now that I'll be going to in a couple of minutes, whether you're Shana Bet Oraita, whether you just finish a semester in Holy YU and is learning B'nai Saskar, just reveal the secrets every single second of the day, mamish. Whether you're just making dinner for yourself, learning Kabbalah, which is really statistics, like Moshe is doing, and building bridges, using the Kabbalah that he's retaining, that he's learning, and applying it to the world. Bezrat Hashem, guys, will continue tomorrow, but let's all internalize Moshe as bracha tas. Let's look back at it, at the recording. It's a really strong bracha. When we be zocha to renew ourselves thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day, really. And Bezrat Hashem, just build, keep accelerating. Have a great night, guys.